Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey everybody, it's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler video YouTube channel, and it is another Tuesday. It's the 10th of January, and I'm glad to be here. I hope you guys are as well. And I have to say thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for encouraging me, and thank you so much for what you bring to this platform. It certainly lifts me when I realize that we are all in this thing together. This thing is what I call trying to make sure that we show up our best selves, even in the worst situations. This thing is what I call trying to make sure that we show up tomorrow better than we did today. This thing is what I call trying to make sure that we showed up better today than we did yesterday. And it doesn't mean that any day has been a failure. It doesn't mean that any day has been a flop. Y'all hear me say this all the time because it's so true. A lot of times we look at the day as a failure. We have moments when we were not our best. We have moments that were not themselves our best. But one bad moment does not spoil your entire day. One moment does not mean that your day has been a failure. You have 24 hours on every day. And while everything does not necessarily go good all day long, everything doesn't go bad all day long either. It's about how we look at it. And we take these 1,800 seconds to make sure that we've shifted our perspective, that we're looking at it from an optimistic standpoint, that we're looking at it from a holistic standpoint, that we're looking at it from a very positive perspective. It's all about how we see things so many times. And that's what I've been trying to get across for as long as I've been on this channel, on this platform. And I want to thank those of you who support me in that effort. I want us to show up better. I want us to show up more successful. I want us to show up more victorious every chance we get. And again, it is about making sure that we are intentional and making sure that we are direct and that we are deliberate about wanting to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations. That is the mantra for my life. I want to show up my best self, even in the worst of situations. So that's what we're talking about. So whenever you see me up here for these 1,800 seconds, that is the goal. That is the gist of the conversation, to lift and to encourage and to try to help save somebody's life so that we can always strive to be our best. You know, I remember once I had a choir director who encouraged us, every time you walk out, you ought to look your best. You ought to be your best. You ought to present your best. You ought to show your best every time you step out, because you always want people to see the best side of you. You always want people to see the best side of you. There's something to be said about not getting a second chance to make a first impression. You want people to see the best side of you because you never know when the best part of you is going to speak to the worst part of them. I just said something. You never know when the best part of you is going to speak to the worst part of them. I'm telling y'all, I will never forget. My life is forever changed after sitting with a relative who said to me, when some of the words that you spoke, Cutler, spoke to my life in a moment where I was considering suicide. I hope and pray to God that it was the best part of me that spoke during the worst part of that person's life. And that's what you always want to show. So do me a favor, invite people to come on and let's talk to Cutler. Tell them this channel is about inspiration, it's about motivation, it's about challenging ourselves to do what we can do to be our best selves. It is about 1,800 seconds of talking about real things in a real life situation with real people. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs in just a moment, but before I do, I want to encourage those of you who have not done so, go ahead, listen. It's 2023. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And once you subscribe, do me another favor. Click on the notification bell because it lets you know whenever I've gone live or whenever I've uploaded new content. And as you're coming into the chat, do me a favor and click on the do a thumbs up on the conversation, because the thumbs up says to YouTube, I like the stuff that guy is talking about. But beyond that, it says to me, Cutler, I enjoy the content that you present. And whenever you let me know that you enjoy the content that I present, then it encourages me to find similar content and share more of that kind of content, to have more discussions like that. I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs for just a moment. LTTC VIPs for just a moment. And they are Tracy Johnson, who says, hey, everyone, good evening. Jay Song for you, who says, hello, fellow riders. And Annie Cutler, who says, get aboard. Let's ride. And we're riding. We are going to continue our conversation, and this is the evening when we will conclude this conversation about how to move beyond the past. I realize as we are getting ready for a new year, and as we have gotten ready and are continuing to get ready for this new year, there's some things that we want to leave in our past, some things that we want to leave behind, and we want to move beyond, as it were. We want to forge forward and move forward and go into the bright beyond. And we want to go into the bright beyond in a very healthy way, with a very healthy and holistic mindset. So as we do that, we've been talking about how to move beyond the past. I won't go into all of them, but just for the sake of making sure that you all, if you haven't caught the replay, just remember some of the ways that you go into and move beyond the past. You just learn to have a positive fallback message. I told you all that my fallback message is just going to be, listen, I'm so glad for these moments and these opportunities that I can forge into new opportunities. I'm not going to look at defeat and challenges and all that stuff from a negative perspective. I'm going to look at it as a new opportunity. All right. So learn to have a positive fallback message, and then put some physical distance between you and the thing that you want to get away from, or you and the people that you want to get away from, or the things that you want to move beyond. And then give yourself permission to focus on you. I talked about that before. I'm going to talk about that a little more tonight, giving yourself permission to focus on you, because the crux of the message tonight is really going to be about self-care. Listen, if y'all are out on the wings, come on in so I can and chat and say something to me, so that I know that you're here. But after you give yourself permission to focus on you, then you also want to make sure that you are gentle with yourself, that you give yourself the same grace that you give other people, that you give yourself the same love and devotion and compassion that you give other people. Learn how to extend that to yourself. That's all about giving yourself grace. All right, giving yourself the grace that you sometimes give others. And then make sure that you allow negative. I said this before, make sure that you allow negative emotions to flow, because they are like waves, and you don't stand in an ocean, you don't stand in a lake or a pond and try to fight the waves, but you allow them. You allow the waves to come. You allow the waves to flow. You allow the waves to do what they're going to do, because it's fruitless to sometimes fight the waves. It's sometimes fruitless to fight your emotions. Just let them flow. Just let them flow, because a lot of times people try to shut out their emotions, but don't shut out your emotions, because they're like those riptides, and just let them do what they're going to do. All right, let them do what they're going to do. And then I think I said it the last time we chatted, accept the other person, accept that other person may not apologize. Sometimes we're stuck waiting for people to apologize, but learn how to move on, learn how to move forward, learn how to forgive them for not even apologizing, and just keep moving. We're sitting around waiting for people to apologize, and they will never apologize. Some of them, they just don't apologize. Y'all come on over into the chat with me for just a moment. But some people will never apologize. Learn how to keep moving. And then look, do this in 2023. This is what I've had to do. I've learned how to forgive people for not even apologizing. I was sitting around waiting for people to apologize, and they didn't apologize. They probably weren't even thinking about me, had offended me, had hurt me, had done all that kind of stuff, and they probably weren't even thinking about me. Learn how to forgive people for not apologizing when you know that you deserve the apology, and keep on going. Don't give people that much power over you. And then I want to pick up and sort of close out this conversation. I hope you all are enjoying it. Meanwhile, listen, go and get somebody, tell them, come on, let's talk the color, because really the man is up here trying to help save people's lives. And I'm telling y'all, I mean that not only figuratively, but I mean it literally. All right. So let's talk about, yes, Yvonne, you're right on time. So good to see you all. Listen, so I want to pick up with our conversation in terms of how to move beyond the past. Another way that we want to move beyond the past, you all, and I think I'm going to spend some time with this, is engage in self-care. Whatever you do in 2023, learn how to engage in self-care. From somebody else's vantage point, from somebody else's viewpoint, it might look selfish and egotistical and self-centered and all of that. But here's when I give us all the permission to say, so what? So what? Because when we are hurting, it often feels like nothing. It feels like nothing. There is nothing but hurt. You're hurting. Hurt is the only thing that you feel. So learn how to engage in self-care. And again, it may look vain to some people, but self-care is not vain. So, if anything, this is about setting boundaries. This is what self-care is about. And I'm probably going to spend a lot of time here because I think some of us are probably failing at self-care. And I want to empower us to engage in self-care and be all right with self-care. Yes, it's about setting boundaries. It's about saying no. It's about doing the things that bring us joy and comfort and listening to our own needs first. Do you know it's okay to put your own needs first sometimes? I was reading something that said the more we can implement self-care into our daily lives, the more empowered we are. Can I say that again? And I didn't say this. This is something that I read, and I forget the source of this quote, but I was reading something that says the more we can implement self-care into our daily, not weekly, not monthly, not annually, not every, but the more we can implement self-care into our daily rituals, our daily routines, our daily way of being, the more empowered we are. Self-care. Self-care, learn how to empower it and learn how to implement self-care into your daily life. And for some of us, we're wondering, well, Cutler, what does self-care look like? What does it mean? How does it show up? I'll tell you what it means. If it feels wrong to you, don't do it. That's self-care. Saying exactly what you mean, that's self-care because you're pouring it out. You're getting it out. You're not harboring it. It feels wrong to you, don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. This is how self-care will manifest. A lot of times we're wondering, okay, does that mean I have to go to the spa? Does that mean I have to go to the gym? It could mean all of that, but in addition to all of that, this is also what it means. Say exactly what you mean. Mean what you say what you mean. If it feels wrong to you, don't do it. Don't be a people pleaser. I'm talking about self-care. You all looking for some vague and ambiguous ways of engaging in self-care. Okay, so do I have to lotion my feet? Do I do I scrub? I mean, yeah, all that's good. That's wonderful. That's self-care. But real self-care, how does it manifest? How does it show up? Don't be a people pleaser. That's self-care. Learn how to trust your instincts. That's self-care. Never speak bad about yourself. Don't talk down about you. Woe is me. No, no, no. That's self-care. Lord, ain't never going to be nothing. I ain't never going to amount to anything. No, no, no. Don't do that. I'm going to be all that I was destined to be. I'm going to walk in purpose. I'm going to fulfill what I came to this earth to do. All of that. That's self-care. Not giving up on your dreams. That's self-care. When you're getting your pedicures and your manicures, yeah, that's wonderful. That's great. That's physical self-care. That's wonderful. But what about your emotional and mental and psychological self-care? Don't be afraid to be brave. That's self-care. A lot of times we have courage and we're courageous and we're brave and we're afraid to show it, but don't be afraid to be brave. That's self-care. Don't be afraid to walk in your strength. That's self-care. Don't be afraid to acknowledge that there's something good and wonderful inside of you. That's self-care. Don't be so intimidated by others until you just cower and act like you don't have gifts and talents. That's self-care. Being kind to yourself and loving yourself, that's self-care, you all. And if you're going to learn how to move beyond it, him, her, or them, you will learn how to engage. You must learn how to engage in self-care. Am I helping anybody tonight? That's what self-care looks like. So yeah, the spa and the gym and the manicures and the pedicures, all of those are wonderful things. But what I just talked about, that's real self-care. Because a lot of times, the way self-care does not manifest is it does not manifest because we are intimidated and we are afraid and we carry anxiety and we carry suppression and all of that kind of stuff. But release yourself from everything that does not look like the betterment. And I made up a word that does not look like the betterment or the bettering of you. If it does not look like it's designed to make you better, release it and let it go. Because self-care is saying, I matter. I matter if I don't matter to anybody else except me. That's self-care. I told somebody earlier this morning, one of the first things that I said this morning was, listen, the world is better because you're in it. I dare you to say to yourselves, the world is better because I'm in it. Those of you who are capable and don't mind chatting along with me, and you have your keyboard available, just go ahead and say the world is better because I'm in it. See, we're sometimes afraid to say things like that. We're sometimes afraid to say, as vast as this world is, as vast as the universe is, as vast as the earth is, sometimes we are afraid to say it's better because I'm in it. I don't care how big it is, you add to it. I don't care how massive it is, you add to it. And you have got to see it and you have got to be able to say it. I empower you all to say, the world is better because I am in it. Sylvia, Leslie, my friend, yes, the world is better because you're in it. And if you're catching the replay, this is a great place to join the replay. It's a great place to join into this conversation tonight. I dare you all to say, the world is better because I'm in it. That's what self-care looks like. Hattie, that's right. The world is better because you're in it. Tracy, yes, the world is better because you're in it. I'm telling you all, that's what self-care really looks like. And if we want to get to the space that's called better, then we're going to say, you know what? There's a space and a place that's called better, and I'm on my way there. Because as I'm getting ready for that place is ready for me. You'll never get to better if you don't see that you're sprinkling better along your journey. You'll never get to better if you don't see that you're sprinkling better along your journey. Juanita, the world is better because you're in it. Annie, the world is better because you're in it. Jay Song, for you, the world is better because you're in it. And I will continue to make my deposits as well as enjoy my withdrawal. Absolutely. Linda, the world is better because you're in it. I'm telling you all, hang on to that. Don't let folk get you down. That's what real self-care is all about. I think the reason sometimes we walk around with our head hanging down is because people have dared to steal our value. They've dared to steal our joy. They've dared to steal our ability to see that we add to and not take from the world. What I bring, I multiply what's already here. I add to what's already here. I don't divide and subtract from anything. That's what self-care. So learning how to move beyond is realizing that you know how to engage in self-care. I know I spent a lot of time there, but it's so important to me. And then here's something else, you all. Make sure that you surround yourself with people. I'll put it like this. In order to move beyond the past, make sure that you surround yourself with people who will do several things, who will fill you when you're empty, who will lift you when you're down, who will comfort you when you're hurting, who will listen to you when you're speaking, and who will celebrate with you when you're laughing. Find those kind of people and surround yourself with those kind of people. To put it another way, connect with people who you enjoy doing life with. Connect with people who you enjoy doing life with. And many of us have been fortunate enough to have had people come in and out of our lives, but make sure that you pay attention to the people who are coming in and going out of your life, because they may be adding stuff to your life. And see if they've given you an asset, see if they've given you something. Be thankful for the people that you get to do life with and enjoy doing life with them. It is a simple yet powerful tip, and it'll help carry you through a lot of hurt. It'll help you move beyond so many things. Fill your life with people that you enjoy doing life with. And may I pause for just a moment? May I pause for just a moment? Yvonne, yes, the world is better because you're in it. Speaking of people that you enjoy doing life with, I don't know if she's in the chat this evening, but I can't help but just taking a moment. I want to give a shout out to you. Many of you all remember when we celebrated, we had the centennial birthday celebration for Miss Evelyn. And many thanks to her daughter for introducing us to her. Speaking of doing life with people, I just want to do a shout out to, I don't know if Paula D is in the chat, but today is her birthday. So I wanted to do a shout out to her. So maybe she will catch the replay. If you all get a chance to just go ahead and say a happy birthday to Paula D in the chats and in the comments, because many of you all, you see her every Tuesday and every Thursday. Hopefully she's celebrating her birthday this evening. Maybe she's taking the time to celebrate her birthday. I hope that's what's going on. But if Paula, if you catch the replay, my friend, thank you so much for what you add to this platform, for what you add to this channel, for what you add to our conversation. So if you get a chance to just say happy birthday to Paula D. Again, I don't know if she's in the chat, but when she catches the replay, she will definitely see it. All right. And of course, I thought about that when I thought about surrounding yourself with people that you enjoy doing life with. Just do life with people that you enjoy doing life with. We can't do life alone, and we cannot expect ourselves to get through our hurts alone. We can't expect ourselves to get beyond our past alone. So allowing yourself to lean on loved ones, allowing yourself to lean on friends and getting their support is a wonderful way of not only limiting the isolation, but reminding us of the good that is in our lives. Because you realize, as Jay Song 4, you put it up before, that you can make deposits. I'm surrounding myself with people that I enjoy doing life with. And the world is better because I'm in it, and I'm making deposits and withdrawals, and I'm depositing into people's lives, and I'm withdrawing from the people who are in my life because I can get from them and I can give to them. Just surround yourself with people that you enjoy doing life. This is how you learn how to move beyond. You all, I've got to wrap this thing up. Don't try to do life alone. Don't try to do life alone, but be careful. Don't allow everybody to do life with you. That's what I'm saying. Be discerning, be discriminating about letting people come into your life trying to do life with you. If they cause you grief and pain and strife, thank you. You're a wonderful person. You're just not a person that I can do life with. Maybe there's somebody that you can do life with. Maybe there's somebody for you to do life with. I'm just not that person. And you got to keep on going. You got to keep it moving. Let me just give you all a few more, then I got to get up out of here. All right? Because I'm only here for 1,800 seconds, and y'all try to hold me for longer than 1,800 seconds. But thank you for doing the shout outs to Paula D. Listen, a few more tips, just a couple more tips, and then I got to go, y'all. I got to go because y'all try to keep me. But a few more tips for learning how to move beyond the past. And I hope this is really helping us move beyond the past as we're going into 2023, because a lot of times here we are in 2023, and some of us still writing 2022. How many of y'all have written down 2022 when you're trying to write the dates? That's because we were in 2022 for 365 days. And sometimes it's difficult. It's hard to let go. Just like it is naturally, so it is sometimes emotionally and psychologically to let things go. But that's why I wanted our first conversations to be learning how to move beyond, learning how to let things go. You really want to learn how to let things go? You all are not ready for this next tip that I'm going to give you. I hope you're ready. Because this takes courage. This takes bravery. But it's powerful. This tip is going to help us. If you really want to learn how to move beyond the past, take this and run with it, you all. When you feel something, say something. When you feel something, say something. I know with the airports and safety and all of that, when you see something, say something. But you all, for your own senility, for your own ability to move beyond, when you feel something, say something. Give yourself permission to talk about what you're feeling. I cannot talk about the times when I felt like I couldn't say anything about how I was feeling, what I was experiencing, and what I was going through. But give yourself permission to talk about it. How many times do we walk around with bottled up anxiety, wishing and wanting people, wishing and wanting them to read our minds and respond to what we don't say? We walk around upset and we want people to respond to our being upset, but they don't always know that we're upset because we haven't said that we are. And they're trying to figure out if you're angry or if you're sad. They're trying to figure out whether you're miserable or whether you're mad. They're trying to figure out what's going on. When you feel something, I'm telling you, life has taught me this. When you feel something, say something. Give yourself permission to talk about it. When you're dealing with, thank you, Tracy, for validating what I'm saying. When you're dealing with painful feelings or a situation that hurt you, it's important to give yourself permission to talk about it. People will sometimes say things, oh, it's just better to keep that to yourself. It's better to keep that inside. No, it's not. No, it is not. Yes, I may have to be careful with whom I share it, but it is not better to keep anxiety and negativity bottled up inside. I've lived too long to know that that statement is not true. It's best to keep it inside. No, it's not. Sometimes we can't let go because we feel like we're not allowed to talk about it. People are holding us hostage to our emotions. People are holding us hostage to all of that stuff. Well, don't talk about it. Just don't say anything. Sometimes you just got to go through. Listen to that kind of stuff. It's best not to talk about it. Sometimes you just got to go through by yourself. Not me. Not me. I'm surrounding myself with people that I enjoy doing life with. And those people that I enjoy doing life with don't mind me talking about the things that are important to me. Juanita, thank you so much, my friend, for validating what I'm saying. Juanita said, at my big age, at my big age, I'm realizing it's important to say what I feel, and it is okay. It is okay, Juanita, my friend. Thank you. It is okay. Certain cultures have taught us, don't talk about it, don't say it, just keep it to yourself. It's best not to say anything. It's best not to tell anybody. That's not true, you all. I don't even come as an expert. I don't even come as an expert on that topic. But what I come as is someone who has done life long enough to know that that's not true. That didn't serve me well. Walking around sad and depressed with low self-esteem and anxiety, cowering in fear, emotionally dysfunctional, feeling psychologically and mentally targeted, and not feeling like I could talk about it. Who had the nerve to tell you what you could talk about and what you couldn't talk about? Sometimes we can't let go because we feel like we're not allowed to talk about it. And this could be because the people around no longer want to hear about it. Or maybe they are embarrassed. Maybe they are ashamed. How are you going to be ashamed of my hurt? How are you going to be embarrassed by my pain? How are you going to be disappointed by my grief? You don't get to imprison me with my own pain. I got to take that and go. You don't get to tell me not to talk about my pain, my anxiety, my fear. my discomfort. This is how you move beyond. When you feel something, say something. Talking about it is important. That's why it's important to find friends. Can I tell you this, you all? In 2023, that's why it's important to find therapists. I'm a proponent of therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want somebody who supports you going to therapy, send a message to talktocutler@gmail.com. I'll support your going. Taking the steps to find your own space of peace, space of happiness, space of solitude, space of contentment. Do what you need to do. It helps you to move beyond. Listen, that's why I'm so emotionally and psychologically free. Because if I feel it, if I feel it, my friends and family members know this. If I feel it, I'm going to say it. You will never have to guess what Cutler is thinking. And if you're guessing, all you have to do is ask me. Oh, I didn't tell you? Oh, well, I'll tell you. Tracy, yes. Don't let it fester up and blow up. And then you all take this one and run with it. Give yourself permission to forgive. Remember, I told you sometimes we're sitting around waiting for people to apologize, and they won't always apologize. So give yourself permission to forgive. Forgive people who don't even apologize to you. Forgive them for not apologizing. And then give yourself permission to forgive yourself. Sometimes waiting for other people to forgive is a part of you wanting to let go, and they don't. Just work on your own forgiveness. You know what? I forgive myself for holding on to that stuff longer than I should have. I forgive myself for holding on to that stuff longer than I should have. I forgive myself for not caring for myself. I forgive myself for not going to get the professional assistance that was available to me. Many mental issues have come about because people, for whatever reason, don't talk about their feelings. Linda, that is so true. So I'm just going to offer that to us. You all seek professional help. Seek professional help. And I want to leave us again on just on this topic, how to move beyond the past. And I'll release this. I feel the release of this, and I'll move on to a new topic. And again, I'll have to share with you some things that we're going to do and talk about more in 2023. But understand this. The world is better because you're in it. Take care of yourself. Don't let other people imprison you. Don't imprison yourself. Learn how to engage in true self-care. The same way that you engage in physical care, you know, your hair, your skin, your teeth, your bones, your physical person. Make sure that you engage in the self-care of your emotional, your mental, and your psychological person as well. I want to thank you all so much because you all help do that for me. You give me emotional uplifting. You give me psychological comfort. You give me you give me this reason for being, this reason for why I keep marching forward. Thank you for that. Do me a favor, you all. These conversations, I hope, are empowering. I hope they're really helping to save people's lives. Do me a favor. Invite somebody else to come on and let's talk to Cutler. And as we do that, let's keep building community, maintaining connectivity, understanding that we're all in this thing called humanity and we're linked up together. So let's keep building community, maintaining connectivity. Keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, stay safe and stay sane. Understand and know that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. I bid you all a good evening. I'll see you the next time. Take care. Be kind to others and be kind to yourselves. Good night.